Abram, I think the first thing we want to talk about here is free agency and let's start off by we're going over the big signings. Let's start off Saquon Barkley going to the Philadelphia Eagles. Giants are in the NFC, so are the Eagles. That creates a little bad blood between the two, don't you think?
It does. And what are the Giants going to do at running back? Are they going to draft? Because they have nobody.
Right, exactly. And Saquon's kind of hard to replace. I think that whole Giants roster is a little bit of a mess. The D line looks really good right now. You've got Dexter Lawrence. You traded for Brian Burns. The defensive line is about the only thing solid going there. Wide receiver Jalen Hyatt. He's a superstar in the making. Danny Dimes at quarterback. I just don't know what you do there. You got a big contract, and you don't know. The Giants have a pretty high pick, and you don't know should they go quarterback? Should they go all offensive line? I don't see what the right move is there.
Will Danny Dimes be able to take them to the Super Bowl, though? Like, I just don't see that happening. So I don't know, if you want to be a Super Bowl contender, why are you still developing Danny Dimes? You know what I'm saying?
I do. Another quarterback trading. Justin Fields going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's pretty big. Obviously, they got Russell Wilson earlier, 2 weeks ago, probably when he got released by the Broncos. But I think it's a good mentor for Fields. Rest him or not rest him, but like have him be QB2 behind Wilson. Wilson can teach him a lot of good things, I feel like, and maybe he can develop into a superstar talent.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It reminds me a lot of Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. Just Jordan Love sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for those 4 years, developing, learning behind one of the greats. I think this is the best possible scenario for Justin Fields. He got drafted by the Bears, shoved into that offense with the terrible coaches. It was just not a great system around him. He was not set up to succeed. And I think him going to Pittsburgh, give him a year or two behind Russell Wilson, I think he could be deadly. I think he could very easily go to the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson to
Yeah,
the Steelers is also huge.
they say a change of scenery can be the difference sometimes, and I really think that could be it for both of those quarterbacks. Actually,
But did you see the contract details? The Pittsburgh Steelers are only paying him like $1 million or whatever, 1.5 million.
1.2 million, I believe it
I
was
know.
1.2 million, and then the Broncos are paying the rest. I think the Broncos are scheduled to play the Steelers this year, and it's kind of funny because the Broncos are paying Russell Wilson to beat them, which is unbelievable.
That's really ironic actually. And talking about the Broncos, I don't know what's going on over there. I
Yeah, that's huge too. I agree with you. You traded Jerry Judy. Obviously, he wasn't doing well there as Jerry Judy just got a contract extension today, funny enough. But yeah, you don't have your wide receiver two now. Cortland Sutton's still there. You lost Justin Simmons in free agency. He doesn't have a place to go yet. I am wondering where he might land. I don't have any ideas. I heard Philadelphia earlier, like really early, but they kind of like are like out of it now. He's too much money for him, and he still doesn't have a home yet, but I think he'll find one.
While we're talking about crazy moves in free agency, the day they traded for Josh Jacobs, I lost my mind. We had the best running back duo for about 2 hours. I was
You're talking the
I
Packers,
was talking the
obviously.
Packers. Yes,
Yep.
obviously.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think Josh Jacobs is the better running back. I'm seeing a lot of Packer fans, really sad about Aaron Jones, and I'm sad too, but he's getting old. I really believe Josh Jacobs is the best running back. Or 2 years ago, he was the best running back in the league. Last year, he wasn't in a great situation to succeed. I think you put him behind the Packers O line. I truly believe he could be the best running back in the league this year.
Yeah, he's got some tough competition, especially with Derrick Henry going to the Ravens. You know what I mean? That RPO, Lamar Jackson, that read option, that could be deadly. I can get Derrick Henry a lot of yards, but I think Josh Jacobs is top 5, top 10 territory. I agree with you. He's a great back. It was sad to see Aaron Jones go. He was big for like the fans. Fans loved him. I think he was a big team guy. Took a lot of pay cuts, but over at the end of the day, sadly, you got AJ Dillon, re-signed him back, but it was sad to see Aaron Jones go. Yeah, and another division rival, he goes to the Vikings. That's pretty crazy.
That will be an amazing rivalry to watch in the future. I a little bit off topic, but I think the NFC North has the potential to be the most dangerous division in football this year.
I think it's top two, if you want my honest opinion. Top two, top three. I still think that AFC North that's always crazy. You can never count out the AFC North, but I agree with you. The NFC North is dangerous. So while we're still in the talk of free agency, I have a couple of underrated signings that I like for some teams. I don't know if you have any off the top of your head, and some of these you might not consider underrated, but I still like them a lot. Cameron Curl, he used to play with the I'm trying blanking here. Washington Commanders. He signs a deal with the Rams for 2 years, $13 million. I think he's a very underrated safety. Along with this next guy, Jeremy Chin, getting signed by the Commanders on a 1 year, $5 million deal, kind of a prove it deal, if you will. And I mean, those are really two underrated safeties. I mean, Jeremy Chin was in Carolina, and not a lot's going right over in Carolina. But Cam Curl in LA, I think he has a lot of potential to succeed. Obviously, the huge loss of Aaron Donald retiring, that is sad to see him go. As a Seahawks fan, it's like finally he retired. All of our quarterbacks will get less sacked less. Sorry, but yeah, I think those are two that I like. What about you?
Um, One of my favorite actually, and I think the AFC it's over. I really do. I think CJ Stroud has got a new weapon, has got some help. The Texans trading for Joe Mixon. I think that's one of the biggest moves that happened. Especially for them, it's incredible. I really think that could get them deeper into the playoffs. We saw CJ Stroud dominate that wild card game. If he with a running back like Joe Mixon, it's going to take a lot of pressure off of him to be making those plays. And I mean, he's still going to make them, but you know what he'll do to that offense. It's going to be electric to watch.
I
I
agree with you 100%. Joe Mixon on that team, that's pretty good. I mean, Damian Pierce kind of had a down year this last year. And then, I mean, I think it's, what was it, Devin Singletary there? Can't remember. But, I mean, he kind of stepped up, but, Devin Singletary, he's not one of them premier backs. And I think, obviously, Joe Mixon has regressed a little bit after this year, but I still think Joe Mixon can get the job done for the Texans.
Another move that I really liked was the Packers signing Xavier McKinney. That was
Yes, yes.
the best available free agent safety. I think with the new head coach, I really think he's going to be a huge piece for that Packers defense this year.
I agree 100%. Staying in the division here, another underrated guy, DJ Reader, coming over from Cincinnati, he's going to the Lions. I mean, that Lions defense, it's getting kind of dangerous. They signed cornerback Carlton Davis. Um, they lost an offensive lineman. I'm blanking on the name, but they signed Kevin Zeitler. So I mean, it's just replace, and Zeitler's still a great guard in this league, and I still think the Lions are still really good, projected to finish first in that division. If you want my honest opinion.
Well, that's a pretty hot take you got there. But another one that I like, and I can't believe we haven't talked about it yet, is the Falcons signing Kirk Cousins. What a move for Kirk Cousins
Oh,
and the Falcons.
yeah, I mean, the Falcons, in my opinion, were a head coach and a quarterback away from being really good. I mean, they lost a couple of those close games, and honestly, Desmond Ritter and Taylor Heineke weren't just cutting it. I mean, I think Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback. You pair him up with Raheem Morris now as head coach. I think he's great, great head, or he's going to be great as a head coach. And I mean, Kirk's got some weapons.
He's got Bijan. He's got who else does he have? Kyle
Kyle
Pitts.
Pitts, yep, and then Drake London. I saw the sign Darnell Mooney. I mean, they're looking to make a push for that AF or NFC South title.
They really are. And the Bears signing DeAndre Swift. That was a crazy move, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's
Bears are also loading up. I mean, this NFC is going to be really competitive. I'm a little worried as a Seahawks fan because we didn't make too many free agency moves, but I just gotta trust the process a little bit. But yeah, this NFC is really loaded, I think.
They are. And Titans signing Tony Pollard, taking him away from obviously Dallas. He's out of there now. The Cowboy
that was
fans are not happy.
no, they are not. I mean, with all the moves they made, or not. Sorry, not with all the moves they made. With none of the moves they made, would they sign a couple players? I mean, not a lot of like high name big. You know what I mean?
Eric
You
Kendricks,
know.
didn't they?
Yes. Okay, that was one. Yep. Sorry. He originally signed with the 49ers and then he switched up and signed with Dallas.
I see.
The reason I think Dallas didn't make a big play this year is I was looking at like some future. Dak Prescott's contract expires in 2024. CeeDee Lamb's 2024. Micah Parsons 2024. I think Zach Martin's 20. They have a lot of their superstars are running up, like their deals are running up. So I think they got to save all the money they can and put it into next year. I mean, you wonder how many of those guys they can keep, and I don't see a lot of them staying. Obviously, I think Micah because he's the cornerstone of that defense, but you know, they have a tough decision to make with Dak. I mean, how are you going to do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is Dak a Super Bowl caliber quarterback? That's a question they need to be asking themselves because I really don't know. I mean, I think he has the potential in the right system, but is the Cowboys system the right system?
Yep, I hear you there. I don't know. I mean, obviously there's a new head coach in town, but what are the Chargers doing? You
I
know what I mean?
I really don't know. I mean, their wide receivers work at Walmart, I'm pretty sure. Are they going to trade Justin Herbert? That is my question.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of questions going around. I like Gus Edwards to the Chargers. He can be the number one guy there. I
Ooh.
really like Gus Edwards, but I mean Quentin Johnston. Hopefully, like I'm hoping he has a better sophomore year. But his rookie year, he did not look promising for that first round pick that they used on him. Um, you know, Justin Herbert, right? Like I heard rumors that the Vikings might be loading up to trade him or trade for him, but you never know. They might be trading up in the draft to get Drake May, Jaden Daniels.